So do you believe, as many jurors said, and Mark's brother and aunt and mum have said, that the gun in the sock was planted over the fence after the shooting?
I wouldn't.
That he didn't have the gun in the first place, even though they say that it was picked up by from someone called Michael, who for whatever reason gave him the gun.
Which again is suspect.
Absolutely. Yeah. So your belief, you attended some of the inquest, and particularly at the beginning. From that, the initial evidence presented, what were you thinking at that time? Because you said you had hope. At the beginning that this wasn't going to be a stitch up of the institutions, this wasn't going to be something where, again, people hide the truth, and this was going to be something that was very transparent, and the truth will out. Yeah, well,
it was a very small glimmer of hope. This is something that needs to be taken into consideration. Okay. But then at the same time, Stafford Scott has come out and said these things. They felt that the inquest was lost before it started. Because of the nature of how the IPCC had admitted, or a senior officer admitted, that they'd already started leaking wrong information to be put out. So it's like, and as you said in the clip before, to hear the lies. I was there at the beginning. I wasn't there for a great deal of it, but I followed it online and read the transcripts and stuff, and it's the lies, and the sort of the way that the police had to go away and come back in and were proven to be.
Give me an example of some of their lies. Give me an example.
There was one with the witness. The eyewitness is the best example. There's a man who he's completely independent. He's not a family friend, and he's not a police officer. And he said outright, the hands were up in the air. Mark walked out with his hands in the air and then was shot. There may have been something in his hand, and it was a BlackBerry. It was a BlackBerry. It's a mobile phone, And yet the police have said that. He called it a freeze frame moment. He said it's not the sort of thing that you forget. I saw a gun poking out of a sock in his hand. Yet there's no DNA on this sock or on this gun. And logistically, okay, I saw a picture in the Daily Mail, which I need to talk about the Daily Mail later, but a picture in the Daily Mail where they said they had it showed the cars pulled up, one at the front, one at the side, and one at the back, okay, and they had a picture of that represented Mark. They said he moved across the car to so he wasn't behind the driver anymore and got out on the pavement, okay. They're suggesting that this gun was thrown over this fence. This fence was on the pavement side of the car. So he would have had to have moved over and in front of the police thrown this gun. Is it 7 meters over a fence onto a green, or to have done this beforehand would have had to put his arm out the other side of the car and lob it over the car, over the fence and onto this green. How could this happen without the police seeing him do this? How? And as well, also witness evidence to say that they saw the police remove the gun from the car.
Yeah, I was just going to go on to that. And saying that the weapon then was found to be 4 minutes later over the fence. Yeah. But how did that happen? How did no one see Mark Duggan?
Logistically, it doesn't make any sense.
So that was one of the first lies, as you saw it, and the family saw it.
I haven't read evidence, I'm not in a position to say lie, but let's put it 90% towards that, because it doesn't make sense. It's completely illogical to see how this could happen. Let's call it that. It's a lie, and the thing is as well, the police have a long history of doing things like this. Charles de Menezes' case is a clear one, and it's not something that solely affects people of African origin. I mean, like with a lot of these things, we are the majority in these cases, but it's constant. Ian Tomlinson's case, the lies that were put out beforehand in the media, leaked by the police to the media. It wasn't made up by a journalist. This is leaked by police. For what purpose? To defame an individual, and then to confuse the facts of the case.
And this is a key thing. I think the confusion when the IPC came out and said there was some kind of gun shooting, Mark was firing, big shootout at the old Kai Corral kind of thing, which was completely didn't happen, completely farcical. And then took 4 weeks before they went to see the family, went to see Mum.
4 weeks.
Why you say it's because they wanted to create this story, this elaborate. It's not just you who says. There's loads of people who say.
It's a political tactic.
And a political stitch up. But in now, you know, it was 2011 at the time. In this age of social media, in this age of awareness, and you know, there's a nuance with people that we understand the way the media can work and how it can try and manipulate people. There are a lot of people say the IPC got it wrong. Yes, IPCC got it wrong, but it wasn't about them trying to create something. It was that they really felt at the time that this had happened, and they got the wrong information by the officers at the scene at the time.
Well, then surely you don't leak that to the media,
and then allow the media to then continue.
And the thing is with media, I mean, it's a common trait that, you know, front page news that on every newspaper. When they put out they take it back, a retraction. It's a small bit of writing somewhere in the middle that no one pays attention to. You know, the same amount of effort wasn't put into putting out the truth as it was to putting out the lie.